Hey, you menace, what you got for me? Hey, you menace, what you got for me?
All right, shalom to elect Israel, to the hopeful elect Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. Want to give all praise to Barak, 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 Barak. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qaash, name of the Heavenly Father. Everybody ignorantly calls God. True name in the ancient Hebrew, which is the Rawchaa, Qaash. His true name is Yahawah. Bahasham means in the name of. Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel. Everybody ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundations of the earth for the salvation of the elect of Israel. Then you got 2/3 of the wicked Israelites here in America, Babylon the Great, and the other wicked Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth that will come back to the loins of the elect after the destruction. The Rawchaa Qaash is the Holy Spirit that has been bestowed upon the men. The Heavenly Father gave his only begotten Son out of the world to complete this work. So we always want to give double honors. Tells and apostles of great millstone, let us all tell this truth. Been ordained by the Lord, teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to also part of the elect to the hopeful elect. Lord, when we be part of that number, Lord, when it's be able to find those who fear in the name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5, it is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9, and is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Shalom, now you sincere believers tuning in here and on after Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qaash, Barak, Atham. We're going to get into a various end-time topic lesson. We're going to go into several topics. Let me say, let me grab the notebook. So we're going to go into some various end-time topics, going into several different elements of the end of this age. And also we're going to go into a feast that we will actually be partaking also in the kingdom that was mentioned in the book of Esther. So we're going to go on that as well. Lord will is edifying to the flock. Okay, we got everything set up. Okay. Well, let's get going. And we'll start right here. With Apostle Ramlav, he kind of makes a small little update on this feast, and then we're going to read about it.
All right, Sean. Let's start off by saying Barak, Yahawah, Bahasham, Bahasham, Qaash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is pretty much Purim. Just a reminder. Shakir should have made the reminder at least yesterday or a couple of days ago. We're in the Feast of Purim. It started last night, February 10th, until February 12th. So currently we're in the Feast of Purim. Started last night, for those of you brothers and few sisters that would like to know. So we're in the Feast of Purim right now. Shalom. And once again, Salakah for the late, post.
All right. Shalom. Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qaash, Barak. Shalom, GMS and its niceness. Shalom. Yeah, we just going into, we're going to read about the Feast of Purim. It was sprung up, by Elder Apostle Ramlav. And, I'm real new in the truth. So I haven't actually, I think this is my first Feast of Purim that I've been aware of to be in, because I came around just before it was mentioned the last time, when I came in, I wasn't part of GMS, so this wasn't something that, I was aware of. So, and that's the one thing about being in the truth. The more you enter into, the doctrine and our high holy days, you start to learn things and, and learn our customs and things that, that we will be partaking in the kingdom. Now, I couldn't say like with this, it might be in a sense where, maybe we don't necessarily destroy all of our enemies this day because we won't really have any enemies in that day. Maybe it'll just be something as a remembrance, or maybe we do do this in a fashion where, certain people get put to death, and that's what this is going into. And that's how serious Israel is. A lot of people don't understand a lot of the high holy days of Israel and what it consists of, and how serious and how angry the Lord is with these other nations, man. That we had a whole day on just slaying heathens. Okay, that's why you talk about in the kingdom. They talking about we all gonna be together. Nah, because things that are in the Old Testament are gonna be kept in the New Testament. Just like we were reading the other day, going into that. Talking about keeping the sayings of the Most High. Those are going, when you look at that word, it's what was that word? It's a lagos. That's that word saying, lagos. When you look that up, it goes into the Old Testament sayings of the prophets. Okay, that stuff is going to be implemented in the kingdom, and this is one of these things that we will be keeping. So it says the Jews destroy their enemies. Esther 9:1. Now, in the 12th month, that is the month Adar, the 13th day of the same. We'll look up that word Adar just to be curious. So I was reading over this last night and kind of looking up certain words. So I want to just bring it out. It's already ended, of course, last night, but it is something as an Israelite, it's good to know these things, to really look back into these days, because, that's a commandment. It said to consider the days of old in Deuteronomy 32:7. Salaki.
Strong's H143. Adar.
Right. And that goes into, that's the Syrian Hebrew. That's going into Adar, which means glorious, right? 12th month, corresponding to modern March and April. So it's just basically a month before, the end of our year, and that's why we tell you that our years begin in the beginning of March. That's why the apostles deemed it to be February 10th to the 12th, because we're basically in our 12th month, and it's going to start over next month. See what I'm saying? And every year, this is a custom that we would do as Israelites. They think Israel's just peace and love. Well, you're going to find out this year, every end of the year, this is what we did. Now in the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, maybe we didn't just go out and necessarily kill heathens, but that is what it's memorialized by. On the 13th day of the king's commandment and decree drew near to be, his decree drew near to be put in execution, and the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them and hated them. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of King Ahasuerus. I think that's how you say that. Go look up that name. Go into this guy. It's good to know people. Know people who you studying about. These are ancient spirits that some of them are actually back here today, roaming the earth. Who knows what they're doing? But we know, as the Lord was very wise, he made it to where things were weaker through age. So there ain't no telling who's who. You could have been a king back in that day, and now you're just a dishwasher or something. Like, that's how the Lord works. Like, you can't really detect who's who. Esau tries, but.
Strong's H325. Ahashverosh.
Ahashverosh. Okay. So, as I was saying, like, he has a good way of being like, oh, this might be this guy in the reincarnation, this guy be in the reincarnation, because that's what they're talking about. And also Israel does that too. Israel does that too. We'd be like, yeah, we think this might have been this guy. That happens. And then, bad about that. You can wonder. But the Lord said, if you think too much, you'll just marvel more and more. So it's good to just stick with, we have an understanding that, we don't know who's who. So it says his name means I will be silent and poor. Title of king of Persia, probably Xerxes. So we're talking about around that period of time. Okay. Going into the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay. Around that time. It's where we're dealing with. So to lay hand on such who sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people. Why? Because we were a fierce nation. We was jacking shit up all the time. Verse 3, and all the rulers of the provinces and lieutenants and the deputies and the officers of the king helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them. For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his name went throughout all the provinces. For this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater. And that's how it's going to be with Yahawashi when he comes to the earth. They're going to be terrified of that name. And they're terrified of it now. That's why you don't hear him say it. They try to make up all these other names because they dread this name. The heathen dread this name of the Lord, because these are the things that we were doing to him in that day. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them. See? So we know that in the kingdom, there's still going to be a split like that. They're not going to come with us. They hated us. They're going to be separate from us. The Lord, they're always talking about here in America, Babylon the Great, about anti-discrimination, but the Lord, he discriminates. There was in And back in that time, you couldn't be a Levite if certain things you had, like if you had a blemish or you didn't have a limb or one of your ball sacks was missing or something or whatever, like you couldn't go and do that even if you were an Israelite. So that's how much the Lord is picky about who he chooses. He's about selection. And right now he's selecting on the elect to understand this knowledge to come back into the kingdom, on this side. So, and in Shushan, the palace, the Jews slew and destroyed 500 men. And Parshan, Datha, and Dalphon, and Apasda, I think it's how you say that. It's like if I said that wrong. And Paratha, and Adalia, and Ariadathia, and Paramashata, and Arasai, and Iradi. Sorry, I'm saying some of these wrong. And Vajazatha. 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hamadatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they, but on the spoil laid they not in their hand. So this day, they literally just went in there and killed everybody. They didn't plunder nothing, because that was how it went back in the day. If we took over a land or something, you would take the spoils and the women and everything. You just went in there and just slayed all the men and just left all the shit there. That's how much we was, that's how, much that vengeance was, to come back on these heathens, just destroy everything in there and just leave. So on the day, the number of those that were slain in Shushan of the palace was brought before the king, and the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done? What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. Or what is thy request further? And it shall be done. Then said Esther, if it pleased the king. So even though she was the queen, we would say princess, she knew that her plea, she was still under men. Let it be granted to the Jews that are in Shushan to do tomorrow also according to unto this day's decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows. See, all this stuff comes back to Jake, man. We'd have remembrance of this is the one of our high holy feast days, hanging heathens. And y'all talking about we all coming together. Hell no, we ain't coming together. We got days where we just remember hanging y'all ass. And the king commanded it so be done. And the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. Right? For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day, also the month Adar, right? The 12th month, and slew 300 men at Shushan, but on the prey they laid not their hand, right? But the other Jews that were in the king provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives, and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 70 and 5,000. So 75,000 people got put to death during this period, but they laid not their hands on the prey. And you got to think about that. All they had was swords and stuff like that. So you're talking about 2 days, 75,000 people getting slain. Okay, very serious. They won't think like Israel. We just some damn humble as doves Israelites all the time. Dog, and that day we're gonna be whooping ass. On the 13th day of the month of Adar, on the 14th day of the same rested day, and they made it a day of feasting and gladness. Gladness, we were slaying, our enemies. That's Israel. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th of the same they rested and made a day of feasting and gladness. Therefore the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month of Adar the day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and the sending of portions one to another. So when it goes into the feast, and it goes down and kind of gives you some history, and we ain't gonna read through all of it. But this has been ordained to be a feast, and it's said to be kept through every generation, which means we will be remembering this in the kingdom. And maybe we might not be necessarily slaying heathens, but who knows? He might just do it just to keep that fear upon the nations. But who knows? We can't say that it would be or not. It'll definitely be remembered though. Okay, so let me go back here real quick because one of my pages went out by accident. Yeah, let me pull this back over here. This is what's we're going to talk about next, going into something that Israel is always, the elders and apostles have been warning us for years, especially us coming in new brothers like me. These are things that I heard when I first came into the truth too, and we always had a if you're somebody of intelligence, you've always known that there's been a division in this place because of race. And the Lord is big about race. That's why he always talks about Israel. And he's so big about race, he make it to where there's only a remnant of Israel getting out. He looks at, the majority of our people as heathens right now because they don't want to repent. So we're going to just watch a little bit of this, and we're going to pull out a precept.
Shalom, shalom, Yahawah. We'll start off first things first. Give all praise and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, which are the pages who become, as great name of Heavenly Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to you sister brothers living in this truth, and shalom to you brothers and sisters that's listening and studying to show yourselves approved. Just one of them little late night sessions, Yahawah. So if I sound kind of weird, I'm just talking low. The family sleep. I'm not trying to wake nobody up. I woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't really sleep. Too much on my spirit, too much on my mind, because it's overwhelmed with how much prophecy is happening. And the Lord, like, man, you can't sleep. Hey, get this lesson off. Because what I noticed, Yahawah, this is where we at. This race war that was prophesied in the Bible, that's getting ready to happen. So what I'm about to do right now is I'm going to play a clip of an incident that's not getting no mainstream media coverage, but it should. And the reason it's not getting no mainstream media coverage is because it's very embarrassing to Esau Edom, which is so-called white man. We got a young Eve that unalived an Edomite police officer. A young 6-year-old Eve at that. And man, when I heard about the story, Yahawah, it put me up in the spirit so much. I'm like, wow. They let me know, hey, Esau is finished. They're about to lose real soon.
Now you see how he's finna go into this. We got another video from the young elder, the priest, the elder in New York, GMS Homa Gabar Awakening, and he's going into a lot of these young jakes, these YNs, which we know those as young niggas. They is gonna be tearing shit up, man, in this place, man, because they're gonna realize that Esau Edom is the devil, and they done fooled them, but they still little demons too, so they just gonna they're gonna turn up on them, But you even got little even the youngest of Jake that will be considered 2/3 because they didn't repent. They gonna be wilding out and defending whoever they with, like she killed this cop to save her mom, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of stuff that's gonna start these rape riots, man.
So no further ado, I'm gonna play the clip so you can hear about the incident, because a lot of people don't know about it. And we're gonna get some precepts, and I'm gonna show you where we at this time, man. The spirit is moving. So no further ado, check the clip out, Yahawah.
10:45 p.m. on February 2nd, a routine shopping trip at the Walmart Supercenter in Novi, Michigan, turned into a life-altering event for 38-year-old Denise Williams and her 6-year-old daughter, Aaliyah. On what seemed like an ordinary day, Denise purchased a Samsung 75-inch smart TV. As she approached the exit, her receipt unknowingly slipped from her purse. Unaware of this, Denise continued toward the doors, where Trevor McCaffrey, the employee tasked with checking receipts, stopped her and asked for proof of purchase. Realizing her receipt was missing, Denise calmly explained the situation and flagged down the cashier who had just processed her transaction. Although the cashier confirmed that Denise had paid for the TV, McCaffrey refused to let her leave, insisting she could not exit without a receipt. Frustrated but determined not to cause a scene, Denise proceeded to her SUV and waved down a nearby man in the parking lot, asking for help to load the large TV into her vehicle. As the man began assisting her, a police car suddenly pulled up. Officer Lindsay Carter, a 28-year-old rookie with a reputation for being overly zealous, exited the vehicle with her hand already resting on her holstered gun. McCaffrey had called the police, claiming Denise had stolen the TV and assaulted him on her way out. Officer Carter immediately confronted Denise, accusing her of theft and demanding that she put her hands behind her back. Denise, caught off guard, tried to explain that she had paid for the TV and that the cashier could confirm it, but Carter's tone grew increasingly aggressive. When Denise hesitated to comply with being handcuffed, pleading that she had done nothing wrong, Officer Carter responded with unnecessary force. She grabbed Denise by the arm, struck her in the ribs, and forced her to the ground, placing her in a chokehold as Denise gasped for air. Aaliyah, still seated in the SUV, watched in horror as her mother struggled. Panicking, she remembered the firearm her mother kept in the glove compartment for protection, a weapon Denise had taught her to handle safely. Acting out of fear and desperation, Aaliyah retrieved the gun, stepped out of the SUV, and pointed it at Officer Carter, screaming for her to stop. When Carter turned toward Aaliyah and appeared to reach for her own weapon, Aaliyah fired a single, precise shot, striking the officer in the eye. Carter collapsed to the ground dead. Aaliyah immediately dropped the gun and rushed to her mother's side, sobbing and begging for her to wake up.
See that? Little 6-year-old girl, she shot the doggone officer right in the eye, man. It's finna get wild out here, man. And Jake, man, Jake be playing, bro. Jake be out here. Jake be playing. It's little 6-year-old Eves out here, man, that can probably shoot better than some brothers. Okay, because I don't, me, like, I ain't trying to say that to be like funny and shit. I don't be shooting firearms and shit. You know what I mean? I think it's maybe like once or twice. You know what I'm saying? I've shot a firearm. I ain't really like shot no shit like that. So I ain't just like, I just aim like a motherfucker. Like
maximum period of time in prison, which by my calculation.
Hold on, I want to pull up something that Elder Manata Zakba was going in to throw this out there. Let me pull this up. Like Jake thinks this shit funny, man. Jake, like he's clickbait Israelites, man. They think this shit funny, bro. They out there playing around, acting like this shit ain't finna go down, man. And they gonna be the first ones to really get in some shit, cause they mock the Lord, man. They try to make this seem like this is supposed to be of entertainment. No, this is to warn our people, man. It's about to be some bloodshed. It's about to be some bloodshed, man. Like we've never seen before, man. That's why the Lord's he's gonna have to put a cold spirit on us, man. But this dude, you could tell he playing when he does his video, man. He playing around. You guys, these little 6-year-old Eves out here, sending people back to the spirit world, man. I'm just gonna play a little bit of this, and we're gonna go into a precept. Yeah, it said trendy Hebrew Israelites. Hold on. Trendy Hebrew Israelites.
I thought I escaped them black Hebrew Israelites, man.
Hold on. Just gonna read the title. Trendy Hebrew Israelites are not ready for the coming bloodshed. And that's what we're not about being trendy. We about giving you real warnings and real alerts of what we're seeing in the earth, man, to show you that these things that the prophets, elders, and apostles have been telling us year after year to come to pass. It's gonna come.
I thought I escaped them black Hebrew Israelites, man. Those damn purple and gold Power Rangers, man. They tell me why they found me in Japan. So, you know, as a Jehovah's Witness, you know, doing our daily routine, knocking doors. Well, one day we knocked the wrong door. Oh, man, my wife is an Edomite, man. I'm Mr. Pastor Save a Nation. And those Black Hebrew Israelites is nothing to play around with. I'll give it to them, though. They know the word better than even I could say myself. I gave him John 3:16. I gave it to him. I gave him John 3:16. I don't know. I've never seen someone break down a precept like that. Like, they dismantled it. He was Isaiah. I remember that debate not too long ago. I got cut so bad. He was 15. I thought I escaped them Black Hebrew Israelites.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake out here playing with that shit, man. He think that shit funny. He gonna find out, man. It ain't no joke what we talking about, man. It's not no joke what we talking about. They be making these little skits and stuff. Like, this shit playing, man. Like, this is going to be the most horrible race riots, like, you know, all of us as Israelites have ever witnessed. You know, and, you know, we're going to go also into, you know, something that Trump did to show that the Lord, you know, it talks about the draft and whatnot, but the Lord, the Lord really want a lot of Jake to stay here, man. Because this is where the main judgment is coming from. A lot of people, the Lord want to make sure they staying in here so they can get their due judgment, man, for playing around with Yahawashi, man. A lot of us is gonna be here, man. So this is not time to be playing around and dealing with, you know, certain people out here, certain Jakes out here. Because if you with them and you kicking it with them, the Lord is gonna let you get caught up with them. That's why the apostles are real heavy about that. They like, if you in the truth, especially if you're a teacher, if you got, you know, of course, you maybe have some immediate family that you cool with or whatever, and, you know, maybe you say hey to them or whatever, and every now and then maybe you go say what's up or whatever, you know, you pops or all that kind of stuff. But, you know, when it comes to like just being like friends with certain people that's not in your immediate family and stuff, and they just out here doing mischief, they heard about the truth, they don't want to turn to the Lord, you keep hanging out with them, the Lord can take you out of the truth for that. That's why we don't be trying to hang out with nobody. We be trying to stay around the flock, because that's what we was talking about the other day. We were bought with a price. The Lord paid for us. We don't have no say so on what we do in our lives. That's up to Yahawashi. You know, especially in these times. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 29. Behold, the day is coming, the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And how is he delivering us? It's course through them chariots and so-called UFOs, but it starts with the truth. It starts with understanding. This is how we're being delivered. We're being delivered from all these imaginations of what Esau has crammed in Jake's mind to deem as reality. You know, that's our first way of being delivered, of coming into this truth. Verse 30, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell upon the earth. Shalom, shalom, Maki, Abashim, Ashabashim, Karash, Barakatah. Shalom. Of course, everybody else on the comment board, shalom, shalom. So come to astonishment to them that dwell on the earth. You see what I'm saying? Verse 31. And this is what he did. He let us know that we was in the truth. And then this is what he said was going to come next, man. And that's what we're starting to see ramp up. And it's also going to be other prophecies coming to pass as well. The bricks gathering, the draft. We're going to go into some of that, you know, as well. You know, like we were going into the title, Feast of Purim, Civil War, the draft, World War III, race wars, Cryo-Chaimbers. We're going to go into Cryo-Chaimbers a little bit too. And then going to them young niggas, man. And these going to be the ones that are coming against these Edomites the most, because they already wilding out. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. It's the spirit world connecting with the ground right now. And the only people who are being delivered spiritually are the elect. Everybody else, he's got it to where they're going to be the carnal. They're going to have to be carnal minded in that day. And if you do that, you're going to get destroyed, man. And just like, we was talking about a few days ago, what was the point I wanted to mention? It's like, I'll bring it up in a second. I want to stick on topic, but I had something else I was thinking about that I mentioned the other day. But anyways, going into it, the Lord, he doesn't want he doesn't want he doesn't want like a Jake that is not taking this serious, man. And what we mean by serious is like really preparing your spirit for this time, man. Because these Edomites is gonna be tripping over this, man. They're gonna be like, we just out of control. They're gonna use this in all types of ways to come at us, man. Like even they daughters know how to shoot and stuff and whatnot, and some of us don't even know how to do that. But they're gonna penalize us and put us all at risk, man. They're gonna start acting like that towards us, and we got to be humble as doves. We can't try to retaliate in any kind of way. That's what Zaquan was talking about yesterday. GMS South Carolina 08. The elder out there, he was going into turning the other cheek. It basically means not to retaliate when people try to slander you with their mouth. That's what that means when it says turning the other cheek. It ain't saying necessarily violently. It's mainly going into people trying to slander you and be like, oh, hey, they're just some savages. That's how they're going to try to point us out to be. That's why we do our best to stay away from everybody so we don't get caught up in nothing, so the ministry don't get blamed. You being, disconnected from the majority of people around you gives a good example, not alone for brothers that you with, but also, it gives you, that means to be able to keep other brothers safe, because what you do in your life, if you around other brothers, that they gonna look at it like a guilty of association type of thing. That's why we be careful who we deal with, because if you out there in the world, you dealing with some worldly people, and then you end up being with these people, and let's say they shoot somebody and you don't shoot them, well, you're gonna be affiliated with them, and we don't want to be affiliated with somebody who's affiliated with those type of people. And that's what Jake's coming to, man. If they're not in this truth, they're gonna be like these young niggas out here, man. They're gonna be some demons. And they already trying to look at us like we ain't even worthy of nothing that they got to do. That's why Trump said this. They don't want us a part of none of their military or nothing. Donald Trump orders military to stop recruiting so-called black people, right?
If you're not subscribed, I know I'm banging this drum a lot today. Please subscribe. I'm fewer than 50,000 subscribers away from 100.
All right.
100 from 1 million subscribers. Bananas. Seriously, I'm so lucky. I am not worthy of this platform. You have saw fit to subscribe and be interested in the way I talk about the news and my trying to motivate people to do the right thing and to get involved in politics. And I am beyond humbled. I thank you very much. Anyway, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. On February 6th, let's talk about this. On February 6th, I did a video. The title of which, if you want to go look for it, is Racist Trump Threatening Criminal Charges for Companies That Hire Black People. And in the thumbnail, because it's YouTube and you got to give a little bit of a mild clickbait, even though I stand by both the thumbnail and the title in this case, Trump bringing back segregation. And here's the description of the video. Jesse talks about Trump's dispatching of his Attorney General, Pat Bondi, to threaten criminal prosecutions of private companies who have DEIA policies to enable the hiring of Black, LGBTQ, etc. employees.
Okay, so he's doing what the Lord wants him to do. The Lord sent him to bring about civil war and bring about World War III. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 16 from the Akia. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore as wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Right? We're supposed to be very careful how we deal with these people, man. Okay, because a lot of them are still in the congregation are dead. They're asleep and aware to the fact that, you know, real bloodshed is about to come down. And some of them do know. That's why you got some of these Edomites, they getting all them damn missiles, them damn weapons ready. They go into the damn stores and getting all their high caliber weapons ready. So this is Titus chapter 1, verse 7. For a bishop must be blameless, right? And a bishop's going into like an elder, you know? So this is the kind of thing that us young brothers, we want to fit in that stead. Even though we're not elders, you want to be in this position where you're acting like this, just in case the Lord puts you in that position one day. Who knows, man? You never know who's watching you. So you want to make sure that you are acting like the elders. That's the point of them doing that, for us to mimic them. Now, we're not saying we just robots, but you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you don't want to do it if an elder's not going to do it. Must be blameless as a steward of the Most High, not self-willed, not soon angry, not giving the wine, which means, you know, not just be getting super drunk. Don't mean they can't drink. They can drink. No striker, not giving the filthy lucre. So these are things that we got to work on as Israelites. And when you come into the truth, these are some things that you're going to fight. You're going to fight and have to be like, damn, man, I got to work on this. I got to work on this. And you're never going to, you as somebody, you know, as new as me, you know, you still got to know that you're going to have some battles that you lose. But that doesn't mean that you're going to lose the war. You just got to pick yourself up and keep going. So I want to go into also this to show you that, you know, the draft is coming. But, you know, a lot of Jakes, you know, they're not going to even probably end up going. The Lord's like, stay here, because this is where most Jake's going to, he wants Jake to get judged 2/3. He wants him to get hit with these missiles, man. So it says, Netanyahu says Palestinians should establish a state in Saudi Arabia. Right. So we know that Saudi Arabia, we know that, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, Trump and them, they are dealing with Israel. OK, and they're both thinking the same thing about establishing a state in Saudi Arabia. That's why he said that the other day, he said, the Arabians, and we want to make sure they're good and everything's established over there. He's saying basically he want to run their shit. And it said that the Arabians shall no longer pinch tent here, which means they don't want to be established with America no more. They want to have their own methods of how they do things. That's why they're with the BRICS, okay, which are the Ishmaelites. Those are the so-called Arabians. But this is going into the draft. We'll go into it again. We go over it a lot. You know, this is Joel chapter 2, verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army and will drive him into a land barren and desolate. That's talking about Saudi Arabia right there. See, so he's got the small hats over there talking about they want to make a state over there, right? And then you got Esau, even so-called white man. He wants to bring their people over there because they have one of their biggest military bases in Saudi Arabia over there right now. I can't remember the exact name, but I remember I talked about it maybe a month ago. I went into a long lesson going into that, and they have one of the biggest military bases they have is in Saudi Arabia. So they want to go over there and establish with Israel for what? Ready for Armageddon. Because he said, what's happening in 2 days? What did Trump say? If they don't let go of them hostages, Hamas, all hell's about to break loose. So they're trying to get, to where, they have everything established over there. So with his face toward the East Sea, which is talking about the Persian Gulf, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, which is talking about the Red Sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things, which means they're going to get blown up over there. They're going to get destroyed, okay, for the things that they have done against the people of the Lord, But we're seeing this prophecy. We're seeing them make these moves, and they're going to establish that with America, Babylon the Great, and they will fall by the sword, as I put out here at the water. Isaiah 3:25, thy men shall fall by the sword and thy mighty men in the war. And this is good to know these kind of things in the Old Testament, because that's what happened to us. And it said, whatever is done unto us shall be done unto them. So that's how we know that this is something that is going to happen to them this time. It happened to us in that time. We were mighty men and we perished in the war, But now, we're warriors in the spirit for now. But if we those 144,000 leg men, he said he would turn us from fishers into hunters. And we're going to go take out everybody who don't agree with this tabernacle, man. That's why you don't see us on here when we do lessons and stuff, we don't be playing, man. You actually see this, hear the sincerity, you know, the brothers and the seriousness of how much we want to make sure we know what we talking about, man. So we got just a little bit more and then we're gonna be done. It says, watch, the Lord will use these young niggas to be a terror unto Egypt, right? To crash out on Esau. So we seen that young little 6-year-old girl, she crashed out and went out there and like straight dead on shot in the eye and shit, bullseye and shit. What do you think these young brothers is like? They be practicing shit, you know, not young brothers, but young niggas. You know what I'm saying? These young 2/3, they finna start bugging out, man. So we're gonna show you a little clip, and then we're gonna go into some more precepts.
Many also knew Lil Jeff as the menace that used to roam the Chicago streets, because another time he was riding through the streets when he came across a random guy on the sidewalk and decided to almost crash.
Slakia. Let's go back.
I'm caught up to was found guilty and sentenced to 55
I don't know why I keep doing it.
As the menace that used to roam the Chicago streets, because another time he was riding through the streets when he came across a random guy on the sidewalk and decided to almost crash out for no reason, because Jeff sees a random dude on the street and starts talking to him. Everything seems cool at first.
I caught me some action. Yeah, what up, Joe? How you coming?
But out of nowhere, he ups his blick and asks the dude if he's ever seen one of them and points it at him for no reason.
Ever seen one of these? You think you can run from this? Get your back. You can. Hey, try to run. See how fast? I'll get out this car right now. Look. Now I'm just playing. Hey. I love you, bleed.
But if you thought that was crazy, you got to see this next clip, because another teen rapper from Chicago, known as Fat Drench, was on live riding through his ops hood with some of his bros. And he made it known to everyone on the live that they were sliding through their ops turf.
That's okay, back on. We don't look KT box. 33 trying to slide, we flip around. Little boys in. Come back on the 9-8 a neck. 33 slime and can't TJ. No, they scared of Fat Drench. BTF is not a gang.
A few seconds later, the camera went off, and you can hear a few shots in the background. And people in the comments are asking what happened, since you could tell something just went down.
They won't be up on our block. Legally black.
After he and his crew got done hitting at his op, Drench turned the camera back on, and you could hear him breathing hard, talking about how the op missed and didn't even hit them.
Yeah. Oh, that was me, man. We good, though. Stop playing. I want to go to my girl crib. Hey, go grab. Hey, take me go grab that other chopper. Okay, mom. Go back.
They was goofy on trade.
He didn't even hit the car. He can't shoot.
He shoot like this. He shoot like this.
Can't shoot. Dunking his head. Oh my dad, bro.
Trey, y'all better not play no career games because we gonna get on that.
And thankfully, neither Drench or the dude they slid on lost their life, because he and his bros were saying they wish they had their fullies, because things could have ended up way different.
Oh, I was out with that fully, folks. Woo! That I should got out. I got 6 bullets.
Not long after
they just putting all their shit out there, man. They ain't talking about I only got 6 bullets on live, man. These little youngins about to be bugging out here, man. These young niggas, man, that's why we be like, Jake want to keep kicking them with these motherfuckers like their ass is cool and shit. You gonna be affiliated with these people, man. And Esau even gonna be sending AI robots and everything against these young little niggas, man. That's why we like, nah, we ain't kicking it with you. We ain't want doing nothing with you. We good. We over here with the prophets, man.
The incident, some cops pulled up on Fat Drench and questioned him about the situation, because the cop knew that he was the dude who had just had the shit on Instagram Live.
What you chasing me for? What? You said what?
The cop said, ain't you the dude on Instagram, bro? Like, they watching, man. And you see what they do. They not even arresting them or nothing. They want this race riot, man. They want this to pop off, man, so they can really pull their fucking big guns out, man. So we telling you, Jake, stop fucking with these motherfuckers, man.
You say I'm the dude on Instagram.
And it is getting crazy out here. We might actually
How could that? You know, like, come on, man.
Be in a YN pandemic. Can't even step outside without worried about getting Swiss cheese nowadays. These young niggas are a different breed, bro. Just give them what they want. It's not worth the extendo clips and switches, bro. What Herb say, bro? Damn, the streets changing. These little niggas dangerous. Don't even mask up no more. These little niggas brainless. It's a wild world we live in right now, man. Kids out here toting Glocks and snorting whippets, fiending to catch a op black. Even the suburban gangbangers are going crazy. We've all seen the memes. And if you haven't, basically, bro, the young niggas have lost their mind. The ones you gotta look out for are making sure you gotta look out for them. And it just got me thinking, bro, how do we get to this point? Who is influencing all these YNs? You know what I'm saying? Where are the recipes coming from? Who is on the Mount Rushmore of young niggas? Well, look no further. After extensive research, I found the greatest young niggas of all time. You know what I'm saying? The start of this national pandemic. Hawk them down, Timmy. Slime them out, Henry. These are their goats. They showed the world what it's really like to be a young. I ain't gonna say started the way, but definitely pushed it. And yeah, bro, I'm gonna tell y'all who I think the seasoned vets are. Go through their accolades and really put some respect on these young niggas' names. Kick it off with quite possibly the greatest young nigga of all time. Really put the Y to N, you know. KK-47.
I was cruising down the street, 4 deep, 3 bitches, 1 yapper on me.
Yeah, man, I feel like it's only right to start with TK. Dude blew up from being on the run and then immediately went to prison for like 50 years. A lot of people say he is the original young nigga, the original bad influence. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie, looking at bro portfolio, I could definitely see why. His rise to terrorizing started at 16. Bro did a home invasion with like 6 different people, and one of them ended up killing somebody. TK himself didn't pull the trigger, but like, you can't be with a group of people who fucking murder somebody during a home invasion.
Right? You can't be with a group of people who murder somebody, and that could be your ass out here kicking it with their ass, and then one of them done some drugs or something, or done some coke, or done some stupid shit, and bugged out. You over here just kicking it with some hoes, and then he's shooting, kill somebody. Now your ass with them. You ain't gonna be with us.
Yeah, nah, he was cooked. So yeah, nah, while waiting for trial, they put him under house arrest. And bro cut that shit off and went on the run. Then he did more robberies and ended up in another murder, which is, you know, it's sad, bro, it's sad. But we did get a generational song from him.
Fuck a beat. I was trying to beat a case, but I ain't beat that case, bitch. I did the race.
And yeah, nah, no cap in that rap.
You know what I'm saying? This how these young niggas is. This motherfucker on the run. Okay? And we know this is a while back. This motherfucker on the run and do a damn video about it. That is the shit that Jake is not going to understand, you know, in that time. We talking about Jakes that aren't really, you know, knowledgeable on how these young niggas is. It said that women shall begat monsters, man. That's what we looking at. And they some monsters, man. You don't want to be caught up with these people because the Lord's got them for a specific reason. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 17. The land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof, everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid thereof, because the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he have determined against it. Okay, so we got to put ourselves in a situation that we are not involved with these people, because the Lord has set them up to be terrorists unto Esau, even the so-called white man. We don't want to be involved with them in whatever they're doing. You know, we want to be put around the prophets. It told us not to be soon the angry, you know, strikers, you know, and stuff like that. You know, that's the people that we want to surround ourselves around. It's Isaiah 19:17. Oh, wait, no, not that one. We just did that. We're going to go to Jeremiah 49:17. I'm over here looking at the comment board. Jeremiah 49:17. And go a little bit more into what, you know, the Akia put down to go into that as well. It's Isaiah 49 or Jeremiah 49:17. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that go by it, thou shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. So these young niggas is built to bring these plagues, help bring these plagues, and make people be like, look at that place, man. Look what they did. Because they know that, you know, most of this has been it's been able to be pushed out by, you know, Esau, Edom allowing young Jake to do that, because that's what they want. They want the worst of Jake to be displayed before the world, so they can treat us as, you know, look at us all as the problem, you know. And it's going to be to that point where you don't want to be involved with these people in any kind of way, because they're going to look at you like that. you know. And if you're an Israelite, you ain't gonna want to be shooting back at Esau and stuff. We said not to be, quick to anger. And Jake, oppression make a wise man mad. So sometimes our anger sometimes get the best of us. So we got to make sure that we in the right spirit and stand around people who are refraining from being letting that anger make them sin at the end of the day. Because these young niggas, they don't give a fuck. When they get angry, they finna start busting, shooting, whatever. Joel 3:19, Edom shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah. See, that's the reason why they're gonna be coming at them, because there's so much police killings and whatnot, and all this other kind of stuff that they've done to Jake throughout the time they've been here, which has evolved these young niggas, man, to make them come out here like that. And another thing, you want to think about is what was I trying to say? The thought lost me. What was I thinking? Basically, I was trying to mention. I can't remember. It might come back to me. But, because they shed innocent blood in their land, right, against the violence of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. So, and this is basically going back into just the fact that, we're Israelites, man. They put us to death even in times where we actually were following the Lord and doing things right and sticking with the commandments to the best of our abilities. We still were put to death. And that's why the apostles say, don't think you're too special, because we all deserve death. So the only reason why we even getting a chance to get out of here, because the blood of Yahawashi has deemed us as innocents, because we have tried to come back and follow the ways of the Lord and show appreciation for our high holy days and for the flock. So let's read verse 20. But Judah, which is talking about so-called Negroes, shall dwell forever. And Jerusalem, which is talking about the northern kingdom, all 12 tribes. When it says Judah and Jerusalem, or it says, Judah and Israel, that's talking about all 12 tribes. From generation to generation. And that's even going into our high holy days that were in the past. Those things will dwell forever. And that's one thing that, as you go along, you'll start to realize the things that the Lord has these young niggas doing is, in a sense, basically to fight for us, do the things that we're not going to do. So you can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Our battle isn't with Esau carnally right now. It's spiritually. It's trying to gain back our people from, all the things that they have done to spiritually and mentally keep Jake in a dormant state, to where he's not awakened in the spirit. So this is my last little article. I got this from Elder Yahawah. Said more than 300 deceased people have been frozen, hoping future technology can revive them. And there was a game that I played with my brother a long time ago called Halo. And that's kind of how they had him. He had him in this cryo chamber, and they left him in there for a long time, and they trained him how to be the ultimate warrior. And then they brought him back to life or whatever. They turned on the thing, and he came out of sleep. And really, they're trying to do that because that's how the Lord has those elect men, those 144,000 elect men, but it's spiritually. He's got them spiritually in this cryo chamber where they have been activated fully. And right now you see in the process of them being activated through this truth, because we don't know who those elect men are, but we know that they're teaching, they're edifying the flock, and they're giving you understanding of what we're being awakened to. Because once that full spirit's fully turned it on, that they said one realm against another, some brothers is going to get spiritual powers during Jacob's trouble. And I was liking what Zaquan said. He said maybe like that movie Supercell, maybe you might get spiritual powers, but you can still die or something. Maybe you might be able to lift up something real heavy, but your other brother be able to be invisible, and then your other brother be able to fly, and y'all got to work together to make sure you get the elect to the destination in them chariots, man. But we don't know. It's just something to think about. That's why I said that, you know, you need your brothers, man. You can't be in that spirit. I got it on my own, because you might have a brother, you know, that you with, and the only way you get past it, something that you all going through as a whole, that brother had to get y'all through that, vice versa. So, you know, that's why we hold brothers around us at a high accountability of like, man, we need you to really be about this shit, because if we with you and you half-ass out there fucking around with the world, you putting us all in danger. So that's why we be real big on that, you know. That's how we big on Bill. I even talk about if you bring like something like a stranger to the Passover, somebody who really don't know the saying, somebody who really don't know what's going on, everybody gonna get judged. You see what I'm saying? That's why they're real serious about that solemn assembly. Like my first Passover, even though I believed in the truth and everything, and the apostles, you know, not the apostles, but the elders knew me, you know, Zaquan knew me and stuff. I still did my first Passover on my own, because they had to see. They had to see if I'm really gonna be about it. You gotta see first. You gotta be real careful who you're dealing with, because there's a lot of people out here acting like they know the scriptures, but they not rooted in it. Because it's one thing to know the milk scriptures, but you got to be rooted. You got to know the dark sayings and also history. You got to know way more than that, man. And if you ain't rooted, then you know that's not something that's good for the body. That's what it's about, and that's what Zaquan always try to mention. It's nothing personal. It's about the body. We're supposed to be protecting the body. You gotta have that sure understanding. You can't be having no wavering of when it comes to this truth. So Isaiah chapter 24 verse 18, it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. Okay, wait, this is not going into what I was talking about. Hold on. This isn't the one. Hold on. Well, no, that's right. Right. So in the pit means the grave, shall be taken in the snare, for the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. And that's basically going into the missiles, going into World War III, Civil War, the draft, all these things that are going to bring in Jacob's trouble, right? So what I was wanting to just mention was these cryo chambers are showing you that people already know this stuff is happening, okay? And it's making them to where they have so much fear, they trying to like, you know, find a way to escape it, you know, through these cryo chambers. And because they don't know who's gonna win, which we know who's gonna win, but they have fear of what's coming on the earth. So they're trying to make alternatives, and that's what they think. They think that they can just control the spirit. They think that Edom is fooled these people who are in these cryo chambers to think that they can take your spirit out of your body and put it back in. Only the Most High can do that. And maybe he might make it to where they're available to do it just so he can blow them up here. Maybe he might put their spirit back in the cryo chamber and make it come out just for the missiles come, just so they can feel that, man. You know? But the Lord is the only one who can take your spirit and put it back, man. I'm gonna go ahead and read this. This is Psalm chapter 80, verse 2, verse 6. I said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. That's going into Israel. Verse 7, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. You know, so we've had the times where we have died for this truth. You know, and just like me and you know, he's a new brother coming to the camp. You know, but you know, he already got his Hebrew name, Yasatan. We were talking the other day, you know, a little bit, you know, I always try to call on brothers that's coming to the camp, check up on them throughout the week, you know, and we were talking, and we were going into that. We're going into, you know, how, you know, we hope that we were those men that stayed to the end, because you got some people that came in the truth, and in that time, you know, and maybe, and we hoping that we weren't none of those brothers that came in the truth and fell out. Because if you was that brother that came in and fell out, you did that every damn time, and that's terrifying. So that's why we're so adamant about making sure we putting this truth first. Because you could be somebody who tried to, you know, serve the Lord till death, and then you folded, man. So that's why we got to pray a lot. That Psalms 51:11, you know, that the Lord don't take his spirit off of us. So Luke chapter 21, verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth of distress of nations with perplexity, sea and the waves roaring, you know, right? Verse 6, men's hearts failing them for fear, and that's what's making them fail. That's why you see they failing for fear. Right there, trying to go in them cryo-chambers and stuff, man. They so terrified about the future. They said, put me in this chamber and let me know in 100 years if we alive. Crazy, man. And for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken from the missiles. So we're looking in the New Testament and the Old Testament that there is a nuclear destruction coming, man. You know, we're able to see that through the Spirit, you know, and it just says it bluntly, really. Once you really get in the spirit, you be like, man, how can somebody see this? Because the Lord blocking them. So that's why I say over here, the verse of the day, Proverbs 2, verse 2. You know, let me go back so it make more sense. Let's start at verse 1. Come on, now, don't do all that weird stuff. Just take me to the scripture. Let me just do this and we'll be done. Proverbs 2, verse 1. And it reads, my son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, which means what? You don't cast your pearl on the swine. You don't be telling people that you know that are what? Not trying to really get right with the Lord. Verse 2, you know, heathens, you know, and you can declare it to them. You know, but when it comes to after they reject it, you know, because you got to test the spirits. If they reject it twice, you know, 3 times or whatever, you gotta stop telling them, giving them knowledge, and that's kind of hard, you know, sometimes to do, especially with immediate family. You want to see them get out of there. You want to have long suffering, but you got to remember, if you do it too much, you know what I'm saying, and it's somebody who just not getting it, you basically striving against the Lord. He don't want them to figure it out. Verse 2, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom and apply thine heart to understanding. You know? Verse 3, yea, if thou criest after knowledge and lift up thy voice for understanding, right? That's what we're doing. We're crying and sighing about the abominations done in the midst thereof, so the Lord will give us more knowledge. Verse 4, if thou seekest her as silver, talking about wisdom, which is Sophia, and searches for her as for hid treasures, right? This knowledge is a hid treasure. It's got apocryphy, so I want to finish this thought. Verse 5, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of the Most High. So there's a process to understand the knowledge of the Most High. You know, there's a process, and it gives you it through Proverbs 2, 1 through 5. So Shalom to elect Israel, hope elect Israel, Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across 4 corners of the earth. Want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qaash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, great men, don't let us all to the truth. Been ordained by the Lord, teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness and wrath. To also part of the elect, to the hopeful elect, Lord, when we part of that number, Lord, when it's be able to find those who fear in the name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5, it is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9, unto a ring. 2 chapter 5, verse 42. Peace and blessing to the elect, Lord, ones edifying to the flock. Wa abab abal, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.